Um, so it says somebody's viewing, but I can't tell. Okay, go live. Going live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. All right. Now we're live. Almost certain. Say again. I can't tell if they're getting your voice or not, which is concerning to me. If they're not hearing your voice, that's a problem. Yeah, yeah. Normally I would see, I'm not doing it any differently than I do on Twitch, but hey, what's up, Justin? So people are here. We are live. It's Shill and Chill time. Um, Justin, can you hear Chris? Chris, talk. It's always something, I tell you. Always something. I am live. Oh man. Let me just. Hey, what's up, Krill? Oh, what's BTC doing here? We can get above this. Get back over 75. We might be doing something. But no, they can't hear you. What the hell? What's wrong with this? Hmm. Hmm. Why? Why can't they hear you? So let me try something else. I'm gonna try something else. We'll see how this works. Okay. Chris, you there? Oh, wait. Don't switch. Don't switch. Don't switch. Chris, you there?
Yes.
Okay. Give me one more testing.
Testing 1 2. Audio test 1 2.
All right, I think we got you now. I just hope there isn't an echo because I'm not going to be using the speakers. We'll try to do this. Hopefully, there's no echo.
All right.
You can't hear. Can you guys hear anything? Are we ready? Sound good? We good? People are saying no. Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
All right. BTC is doing things.
Yes, now here. Kirill, can you hear both of us or just Jake?
Yeah, now they can hear. All right, so we're good. I'm just going to shoot the link out on Twitter real quick, and we'll get started. But keep in mind also, this is Shill and Chill, so I'm like kind of chilling. We'll talk about the moves, we'll talk about some alts, give you guys a chance to kind of show your altcoins or whatever you're thinking. It's a good discussion. We'll have a good time. I got my friend and partner here, Chris, at Swingularities on Twitter if you don't follow him. Um, Always good to talk to him. He's the guy I did the Lux videos with, if you guys remember. But in the past 2 years, I think Chris has kind of like totally changed his game. So for the people in the dojo, they know what he's up to. But as a trader, Chris is like somebody you probably want to listen to because this dude is on point. So thanks for coming. Glad to have you.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been long overdue.
Yeah, man. I can never get a hold of you.
I know. Yeah, life's been a bit busy, but now I'm actually got a little bit more time to dedicate to this. I've been just slightly skimming over crypto, but I've been diving a bit more deeper into forex indexes and equities lately, and it's actually pretty fun. So that's more my bag these days in crypto. But I'm always on the lookout for opportunities in any space.
Okay, so they said Chris is too loud. I turned down the volume on the desktop, so maybe
My gain is at
no, it's
zero.
not you, it's
So,
me. It's not you, it's me. Um, yeah, if I could just get past these technical difficulties, so the people that have been along on the ride for Twitch and just everything, it's always been an issue. Even back in 2017, this was such an issue. But it's such a pain in the ass, man. Like I can't get it right. It's always something. either it's an echo or the whole thing just crashes. It's it totally kills my momentum. And like I'm working on my third cup of coffee. I woke up, Bitcoin's pumping, and I'm like, I'm shot out of a cannon. I'm ready to go live. This is perfect. And I'm about to do it, and then we have the technical issues, which is a pain in my ass. So, bear with me. How you guys? I've been modifying Chris's audio, so as we conversate, just let me know if it's too loud or not, or too low, and I'll adjust it. All right. All right. So let's see. Let's see. So obviously, in the video yesterday, we were talking about this range here, where you see with the VPVR, it's a good indicator. Get most of the volume in that range, and what what you find from time to time is before the move actually happens, there's a fake out in either direction. So we got that last night, and the big move took off. Um, One thing that kind of like pay attention to is when the volume really kind of declines, like we were talking about yesterday. Um, that shows you that a big move is coming, or at least a substantial one. So from a volume perspective, this indicator down here is this is giving you the spot volume on all exchanges. So we know that the market is kind of run by derivative products now, and exchanges like BitMEX kind of leading the way, as opposed to spot. But it's significant to keep an eye on what's happening in spot. So this pink bar here is the daily. So we still have about 8 hours to go. So it's we're 2/3 of the way. So we'll see how high this gets. But as of right now, it's a pretty sizable amount. BTC was rejected at the previous high that led to the dump right here. And in the video yesterday, we talked about this high time frame trend line, and that's pretty much exactly where the move stopped. So this was rejected by the trend line. Right now, turn mine up. Oh my God. I'm not loud enough now? Come on. You guys are too picky. Holy shit. So we're kind of watching to see what happens here. And if you zoom in, a lot of people will tell you like 1 minute chart is like for gamblers, or, you can't use that. Don't listen to them. People that say that don't know what they're talking about. 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart, different resolutions. Even I know people that look at like the 10-second chart. If you look at this, right, you're not gonna really know like if I hid the 1 minute, what does this look like? This looks like, to me, this 1 minute looks exactly like 10,500 pump from 7,300, and you're seeing this pattern play out. This is exactly what you see all the time. So it can kind of give you a sense of how to play this area. You don't want to see this taken out. The 7,400 goes below 7,400, then you could be getting a full retrace and then some. It's possible. At the same time, you want to, at the very least, you want to take out 76.35, something like that. If it gets up there, then you have a reasonable shot to break through the top. But if you didn't catch the long, or you're not entered in it from before, like this is kind of like a semi-dangerous place. You don't need to play right here, because if it breaks through here, the top of the original move, now you're over this trend line. It would be quite bullish, and you don't need the whole thing. Our life is a chart. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Chris, you still there? Still got you?
there. If you didn't catch the bottom away, or if you already, I mean, right now, look, 50 risk reward situation where it's leaning a risk for me.
Your sound is really choppy. I don't know what happened.
It moved up, and if it doesn't start curving up, then all this was fuel. So I'd be very, very.
Chris, so basically everything you just said, I didn't get. It's going like in and out.
Really?
Now it's a little bit better, I think. But I did miss the point of that what you were saying. Could you try that again?
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So basically, what I just said is, if you weren't in this morning, just to echo what you said, if you weren't in this morning, this is a super dangerous place to get in. It's you got a 50-50 chance of making or nuking at this point, because you're right in the middle of the range. It for me, it leans a bit heavier on the possibilities for a nuke if it doesn't curve up quite rapidly, and all this will be is fuel for a short. So this is not where you'd want to get in. If you weren't in a position already, or if you weren't in early enough this morning to see it start to ramp up the volume and then get yourself in a adequate position, this is not a place that I would buy right now.
Hmm. Yeah, take the safe approach here.
Yeah, and like I like to tell people, and remind them very often, this is not something that you have to do absolutely today, because crypto is not going to exist tomorrow, or just trading in general is not going to exist tomorrow. There's no rush. You miss something, just let it pass and then get the next one.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's that's something that a lot of people fail to recognize, and that's where your emotions come in. But like, there's always opportunity, and there's multiple markets. But even just in crypto alone, it's like people it's so cliche. Like, don't let the FOMO get the best of you. But there's a reason why. So people get burned when they're only thinking about what they can make rather than what they can lose.
Hourglass is asking, so get out. Well, look, if you got a position right now, and you're for me,
It
it's a
depends
high
on what they
risk
want to do with
position.
it,
So
right?
manage your stops accordingly. Make sure that you're not going to get killed if ever this thing just dumps.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends. So it depends on what you're doing. So first off, are you trading it just spot, or like you holding a position that you've been accumulating? Um, if you're in Bitcoin, and we're not talking about leverage on like Dudex or BitMEX or any of these exchanges, um, then you can hold on. I wouldn't really be a seller here unless you're really trying to trade it. Um, but obviously you want to have a level where you get out if it gets really bad. But from my perspective, if
You,
I have spot, like, I would say, I mean, you don't want to take this type of a loss, but as long as you're like kind of diversified, like you have some cash, you can buy more, average down a little bit. I wouldn't want to see it much below like 6,400. Like, if it goes there, then and breaks, then you're looking at like 58, 57. Below that, it's just this shit is dead, man. So, you know, to get to 64 from here is $1,000 crash. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but right now, I think you're better off like sticking with what you got. I mean, I wouldn't really be a seller here. Now, if you're trading on leverage, that's a whole different story, because these moves, like a few percent, can take you right out, or wipe out your profits. So depending on how much you're risking, you play it differently. So, for instance, if you're in this now, right? You don't really want to see 7,400 get breached. Let's put it that way.
yeah, and I would manage those stops according to
Yeah,
that. I mean,
and there's gonna
if you
be
just look
stop.
at
There's
what
gonna be
happened a
stops
couple of days
there.
ago.
There's a chance that it does happen.
Yeah,
You can get faked out, but like, if you look, so on the hourlies,
right now it's looking a lot better. It's is looking like it wants to curve up. We're already at 7,500.
oh, that was I didn't see that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You want to get over this. Like, this has to keep going a bit, but you don't want this bottom taken out. And keep in mind, it can happen. It can be another fake out down there. It's possible, but you know, you have to figure out how much you're risking. It's difficult for me to tell you where to put your stop is. It's not something I can do. I want to short 77.50 too high for short, or 76.50 the way to go. So if you 77.50, you had a chance to short. You didn't get it, I'm guessing. So from my perspective, if this chart ends up curving around and then taking off, it gets up to 77.50, I wouldn't be shorting that personally. I think, and you can still short, like you might get a fake out where it's like basically a stop run above, and it goes to, it can get higher. 77.50, I wouldn't short. I think you already had that chance, and if you didn't take profit, then like that's okay. Like it may end up being good, but if it goes back to that entry, I would be careful shorting. That would be some pretty good strength, and on the low time frame, it would have invalidated the crash cycle, and I wouldn't count on that resistance holding for a second time, especially with the amount of volume that poured into this candle here on this hourly. That's a significant amount. Like this is, you pay attention to this when you see that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was showing you before with the volume, it's declining, declining, declining. They couldn't even get it below 7K yesterday. And now you have this huge volume pouring in, and across spot exchanges as well, which is a good sign. So this move seemed to catch a lot of people by surprise. Most people were betting that it would go lower, and if this somehow makes it back up there, I would be very, very cautious shorting there. That's just my take. Krill says, guys, a good alternative to conservative trading style is investing in real economy. Do check out what Hive Terminal develops. Okay, all right, this is the Shill part of the chill. It requires some skills and knowledgeable as well. What's up, Captain Bean Crypto? How you doing? Oh, Crypto Nitro in the house. All right, he's asking about VeChain. We can take a look at that. Is it still over 100 sats? All right, let's check it out. Yeah, it looks strong. Okay. It's on the verge, man. This looks good. So we'll zoom it in a little bit more. This is going to develop, and if this breaks out to the upside, you're going to get probably a move to at least 150, I think. Like if we get over 110, 115, like this is going to go to 150. It looks pretty strong to me. What do you think, Chris? You see it?
Oh, no, I do. Yeah, that definitely looks strong.
That looks good. I forgot.
Yeah, I would like to see it break that and as an SR flip, but if it does that SR flip on that level right here, it's going to take off.
Why can't I delete? When I draw, I can't delete for some reason. This happened yesterday. Like it's not letting me delete this.
Sometimes the JavaScript gets stuck, especially if you've had it open for a while. Not talking about the tab, but the actual site. So you gotta refresh the site. Right, so, I do that every so often.
So if you look at this is the 8 hour, right? I mean, this is pretty bullish looking here. We got the high at 110. That's where the rejection came, but this is acting as support, like 90 sats. 90 sats was significant for it. I remember. Let me pull it up on the chart, but I remember specifically 90 sats being somewhat significant.
Yeah, I remember that too.
So here, this is a daily. So this was early in the year. This was basically where the bulk of, and if you look at the volume, this is where all the core position was built for a lot of people. There was a lot of buying in this area, faked out and then dumped. This was a back-breaking move right here, and then you take this is a huge loss from over 100 to 30. That's like an 80% cut right there, maybe more. And now we're coming up on it. This is resistance. This is going to be thick resistance. So if it gets through this, it's going to take the fuck off.
Yeah, if it gets through that SR and becomes a flip, it's gonna boom for sure.
I will watch for it. Keep an eye on that. Also, the trend finder is turning green here. You want to talk about that indicator a little bit while we're on it? This is yours.
Yeah, it's basically Trend Finder is basically a whole bunch of EMA inputs, also taking volume um, as as a weighted measure to look at trends. It just gives a better, like, just to give you a bit of confirmation, make sure that you're not biased on seeing things that are not necessarily there. And I built that with that in mind.
Yeah. All right. What else? What else? What else? Oh, what's up, Steve? Steve D Donato. Nice to see you too, man. Good to see you. Yeah. Back on the YouTube grind. So this for vet, yeah, like 100 sats. You want to see this price action continue and eventually take out this high. Um,
Yeah, if it got above the POC right here, I mean, that would be extremely bullish. That means it will have broken out of a whole bunch of resistance,
yeah.
and that price that has been hugging for
Yeah. To me,
better part of
this isn't a great time to buy.
no.
You wait. If you're in it, let's say you're in it from here, you can manage your risk. Like, you obviously this is a big risk, so like you don't want to see it below, like, I'd say below like 75 sats, and even then that's still like a 25% cut. So with alts, you can, I mean, it can go like, I guess, back to this. So on the 4 hour VPVR, this is where, and you see these two shockwaves here. This is where a lot of action happened. So like 87, between 87 and 90, that's a good place to buy, in my
Mm.
opinion. If you get a wick down to like 90 sats, I get in there, and then I don't want it below like 79. You know, so you're taking some risk, but the upside is good.
Yeah.
And it's not leverage. So BTC end of year prediction, Christmas pump. Hmm. I don't know. I haven't made any end of year predictions. I haven't. Just kind of like playing it by ear. Like day by day. We'll see what happens. The picture will be a lot clearer in the next few days, though, I think. Um, End of year.
Where I'm concerned,
I
that's
don't like guessing. I don't like guessing anymore.
well, that's just it. It's
I don't know.
where I'm
I don't know
concerned.
the
That's a
answer.
very dangerous and difficult thing to do because I'm not an investor. I don't care about what it's going to be like 2 months from now. I care
Mhm.
about the price action today.
Yeah. So it looks like BTC got rejected again. Let's see. This can continue. How's the hourly looking? Eh, not great. Lower high. Yeah. A revisit down there would be bad. You guys are going vegan, huh? Yeah, I don't know if that's for me. Um, hmm. I had a vegan joke. I don't think I can tell it. All my jokes are not PC anymore. I remember like years back, like maybe like 6 years ago, I was like thinking about like doing stand up, and I was writing these jokes. I had different ideas of like concepts, stories, stuff like that. And then like now I'm like half the stuff that I thought about, like I can't even do it anymore. Like I get like booed off the stage and people would cancel me, you know?
I don't know, man. Bill Burr is one of my favorite comedians, and he's definitely not.
Bill Burr. I feel like he's not as good as he used to be. I liked his early stuff, but like since he became like so well known and well liked and popular, I feel like he kind of fell off a bit. He does some great. He's funny, man. Like he can crack me up though. Bill Burr is good. He didn't take any shit either. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna talk about alts. Yeah, we'll talk about alts for sure, man. Um, just chilling right now. Yeah. So speaking of EOS was one that we talked about yesterday. Um, this is kind of like there. I was like, yeah, around 35 is kind of a good place to get in. You got that wick. Alts, obviously, when BTC pumps, $800, most of these alts are gonna react in some capacity. Now, 3-4%. It's not terrible. This you don't want to see. after a wick like that, you don't want to see continual red candle, full body candles going down. So there's a chance this can be revisited at this point. Um, you're gonna want to see support step in soon, like around like 35.50 or so. But back to
Some of the y'alls just don't give a crap though.
yeah, yeah. Anything you're looking at in particular?
Well, I still like Constellation. I mean,
Hmm.
I've been buying dips on that and flipping, buying and selling because it's got some really nice price action and it's not tied to BTC like at all. It just doesn't give a fuck. It does what it wants. So it's actually
Hold on.
something that's I find a lot easier to trade these days. And look, it just BTC just pumped, and let me just put this on the 1 hour and look at it, and Constellation pumped with it.
Huh. It's so hard. I wish they had uh KuCoin on TradingView. It would be nice.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Why they're not there. I mean, it's a large enough exchange for them to merit being there. It seems to me.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at this. This is a smaller cap. I mean, doesn't really not showing any signs of stopping. Um, looks pretty bullish. It's just like a fucking stick. It's going straight up, guys. Uh, you don't have the blow off top yet. You know, the area that I was looking for was like 450 sats. Really, that's kind of like my target on this. I think it can happen. Um, and then if this top gets taken out, you know, if this gets to 600 sats, this is going to 1,000. So around like 480, 450 is where I'd start to take some profit. You know, if you're, you know, you can trade it also. What you're doing is completely different.
Yeah.
Just, you know, we've been talking about this one for a while. Yeah, I think it can make a run at 500. It's possible.
I like other ones that you pointed out as well. They're a bit more tied in with BTC, but I mean, a lot of those charts, especially the big boys from yonder years, you know, a lot of them are bottomed out, but they still have some legs to move. So,
Hmm.
you know, the risk reward is great. I've been trading forex recently, and that action has been really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said on the video. You know, if you learn how to trade this, like you can trade anything really. It's no need to
Yeah.
limit yourself to just crypto. And there will be times where it doesn't really make a tremendous amount of sense uh, to be dicking around in crypto when there's other markets that are doing really well, or other setups in let's say you have a setup in oil, you know, in Bitcoin. There are times where you'll look at Bitcoin and people will ask me like, what's your prediction, and I'll be like, you know, I don't know. I don't feel too confident. And like when when somebody feels that way, then they're really not in a position where they should be taking a trade. If you're not confident in the position, you're just kind of guessing and gambling, and like that kind of mentality will get you destroyed. So if you're looking and just so hyper focused on Bitcoin, but yet it's uncertain, you know, start looking elsewhere, see what else there is, and then you might recognize something and be like, oh, this looks really good, or oh, this looks really bad. I want to short this, and you're gonna have way more conviction in that. Um, there's so many different options, you know, so to limit yourself just to one or two is not a great idea if you want to trade. Um, Steven brought up Elrond, ERD. I mean, this is a nice looking chart too. A lot of these alts look very similar. So they're kind of like going through these long accumulations. Now they've started uptrends. You have nice volume spikes here. Um, Obviously, we need about 10% more. And then if it can get above and gain acceptance above 35 sats, you know, this thing is off to the races. It's something that I'm going to put on an alert. Good catch. It's worth looking
Mm-hmm.
at here. This is interesting. Not buying here, but it's interesting. It can take off. Um, B roots. Yeah, yeah. 77.50 hits. So if that hits again, then you're kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I would short it the second time. I don't think it'll break. I mean, I don't think it'll hold. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, 7800 hit on Bybit anyways, 77.95.
77.95. Yeah, yeah, that's about where it went on most exchanges. I mean, what do you think, Chris? If it gets back up there, what do you think happens?
If it gets back up there, that's extremely bullish. I mean, just breaking 7600 for me would be really bullish.
Hmm.
I would probably even look at going into momentum long at with a tight stop at 7600.
76.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could take it. 76, huh? 76.20 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Take it. You just kind of press the button, set the stop. It would look pretty good. We'll see what happens. We're gonna keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? What the hell else was I gonna say? I had something to say, and I totally spaced. Got sidetracked for a second. Let's see. Zach C. I'm bullish on KNC because they're changing their tokenomics soon. Lower cap would be worth the risk. Okay, I'll check it out on Binance. I think KNC's volume comes from Binance. Does it? Where is it? Oh, there it goes. Kyber Network. Yeah, I mean, most of these look the same. Notice a pattern? They're all looking kind of the same. So this is kind of like why I'm making, like, the timing of me, like, doing YouTube again and doing these videos. It's a timing play. It's not like I just woke up and decided to do this. You know, I've been very active in other platforms and kind of just on a more private level in the dojo and stuff and other groups, but as well as Twitter. But the reason why I came back to YouTube is because I think the timing is good. And I scanned around. I kind of see who's on YouTube, what they're doing, what they're saying. And frankly, you know, I'm not going to name any names, but the quality on here is not very good. And that's understandable. This is where most of the plebs go to get their information. And they're constantly, because people are incentivized to get like a lot of views, a lot of clicks, so then that way they can get paid sponsorship. There's nothing wrong with making money. But at the same time, you don't want to be just saying stuff because it's what people want to hear. That's why I kind of like in the past year, there are people that are still following, and to everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys because you must have kept up or have some idea of what I'm doing now versus what I used to do. But you don't make any friends and you don't become popular by telling people harsh truth. And if you're just telling people what you want to hear, yeah, you might get a lot of followers and you might get a lot of likes, but ultimately you're gonna wreck people. And like I said in the video yesterday, you know, I don't know how people sleep at night. I don't know because like bear market of 2018, even though in the summer when I could pull the tweets, I made multiple times and I stopped doing YouTube. It was late. It was late. It wasn't the right timing. But there were people that continued for 6 months after I stopped, you know, still talking about alts and shit. Like from where I exited and said, hey, I'm not interested in alts, I think they took another 80%, 90% cut. It was like somewhere around like here. This area is where I got out. And you know, on the chart it doesn't look like much, but this is another 80%. So I may have saved somebody, but ultimately I still couldn't sleep at night because people lost money. And you know, everybody invests their own and makes their own decisions, but at the same time when you're someone like me that's had like a big following and a lot of excitement and a track record of successful altcoin calls, people will kind of like throw that whole do your own research shit out the window because people literally had bots set up. If I tweeted, like the bot would auto buy whatever hashtag I tweeted. So it became like a situation, and you know, I would do the same thing and be like, oh, Ian Bellino's about to do this. Okay, let me buy that. You know, like that was kind of what the market was. It's, in retrospect, pure mania. But nevertheless, like once you recognize that for what it is, I just don't get it. Like how people can do it. and come on and just be wrong over and over and over. Hey, Bitcoin's gonna moon, blah blah blah, like the whole way down, um, and then not learn anything. 2 years later, still doing the same shit over and over, and these are the people that are getting all the likes, all the views. So, back to the original point of the timing of me returning to YouTube, I think it is an opportunity. And, let's face it, the past year and a half has been a trader's market. It will always be a trader's market. But the opportunity, the time for kind of joining in and catching big moves, for people that aren't as trade savvy, I think the opportunity is there. You just got to teach them how to make a little bit of a tweak from being a pure hodler, hey, I'm holding for 100x, to knowing when to close that position. So, like, I wish I had VeChain's original chart, but when they branded to Vet, it gave like a whole different look. But if we kind of like rewind the clock to 2017, Vet, an amazing trade on Vet. I probably made like 40 Bitcoin off that trade. But I could have made 100 Bitcoin on it, to be honest, if I had known like how to trade. Because I remember specifically I had loaded up a big bag of Vet at 3,000 sats, right? And within a few days it pumped to 6,000. And I told everybody, this is nothing. It's going to go higher than this. Don't worry about it. And then it retraced right back to 3,000. So when it went back to 3,000, I bought more. But had I just sold and saw, hey, this is a parabolic move, here's a blow off top, now it's going to come back down. Even if I didn't sell the top, let's say I sold at 5,000, now my position would have been almost twice as large as it had been. And all the signs were there, it was super obvious, but I didn't know anything and didn't know what to recognize there, or how to play that. And I just kind of held on and kept DCAing, which back then was it seemed like a very reasonable strategy. But if I could have taken advantage of those moves, like in the early days, then when the actual pump happens and the blow off top happens on alts, you have that much more firepower. Like it can make a crazy difference. Like like what Chris is talking about with DAG, I remember he was you were trading like DAG when it was like 50 to 100 sats, just keep getting more and more and more, right? And then when it
Yep.
takes off, that multiplies. There's a multiplier effect there.
Yeah, so you keep your risk low, and you just you increase your position, double, triple, quadruple your position, and the thing does like a 10x after that. You make ridiculous amounts of money. The important thing though is to not get attached, and that's the problem with a lot of traders. They think that they're going to make billions upon billions of dollars off these things, and they keep them until their portfolio crashes to nothing. You need to learn to take your profits and get the fuck out.
That's right. That's right. Crypto Bean can't crypto. Captain Bean crypto. What do you think about Beam, KJ? Privacy coins seem to be yesterday's news these days. Yeah. I think privacy coins are definitely not in trend right now. I'd want to see. So this is just more of the same thing. Bean. I don't know if I can look at the chart if they have that. Let me see. Beam. Okay, so it's on Bitcoin. It's on Binance. All right. It's a privacy coin. Is this a Mimblewimble? Beam? Do you know about this one, Chris?
Not at all.
So
I used to know every single privacy coin, and then I just gave up. None of them were actually doing anything. So.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to be the trend. If you see something like Monero or Dash take off, like a larger privacy coin, then I think it would be time to look for the smaller ones. But as of right now, let's see. This chart, it could go either way. You have a very bad downtrend. 57 is the bottom as of now, or 570. Get a high of 830. That's a nice bounce. Then back to 700, a new low, a higher high. So you got a high, a low, a high.
So Zach says, Beams
but
is
now you made a
minimal.
lower low at 624, then a lower high. So it from like on the daily, looking at the daily, it looks like it's starting a new downtrend. So
I would seriously, before trading this, just looking at the chart real quick, like right now, I would wait till this gets into price discovery to even think about trading this. I wouldn't touch it right there.
Got a big fat bag of Beam. What if you don't mind me asking? What level did you get it? Where did you pick it up, Crypto Beam? Beam has a halvening in January. Okay, so we got a
Yeah,
month.
that
So
doesn't
it's got
mean
a month.
much.
It's got a month to take out this low. It could happen too. People will give away privacy for convenience. Nothing has changed with crypto. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And
Yep.
truth be told, the same problem that was the elephant in the room in 2017 still exists. Like, who is actually using these coins? You know, I remember kind of like even on streams, but also describing to people like crypto, like noobs, like what's going on. They're like, so what do these coins do? And I'm like, listen, the first thing you need to realize is nothing makes sense here. I'm like, none of this is gonna make sense
Yeah.
because it didn't. And for something like Dentacoin to be worth $1 billion market cap, something is horribly wrong. You know,
Yeah.
Red Coin, all these coins, they're just not worth anything. Nobody's doing anything with them. So I can't imagine that more than 10% of these are actually, probably 10% is being generous. Most of them won't work, but it doesn't mean you can't trade them and make money. It just don't get too committed to it. You know?
Yeah, and Loot and Nitro, just to address your Lux question, no, none of us have skin in the game with Lux anymore for
Longer.
a hell of a long time now. I mean, we dumped that ages ago. We did it very publicly too, especially when McAfee became their CEO and stuff like that. Then we just saw that there was no point in trying to milk it for what it was. We'd made our money in it, and we said so. And I even told people to get out. It wasn't viable anymore, and it went down to nothing. I mean, right now they've restructured. They're trying to rebuild. They're doing a whole bunch of things. I'm actually still mining this stuff just because I can't be bothered to change my miner, and it's actually serving as a heater right next to me. And Lux doesn't take a lot of energy, so it's just the right temperature for my room. So I'm not going to change it. But no, I've got no stake in the game.
Same. Um, so we're getting some questions about Grin. Yeah, I remember when Grin first came out. Look at this. Look at this chart. Remember how much? Remember who
Yeah,
was shilling you this? Because the whole the whole model for Grin, it's like the miners fucking wreck you in this shit. It was super obvious. Like, look at that. Imagine buying this anywhere on this chart. Like, let's say you see this dump here and you're like, oh, I think I got the bottom here. That's 232. You still lose 50%. You know, it's still down
yeah.
50%. From there, it's bad. Shit is bad. I don't know. I wouldn't touch this.
I
Can it
never
pump?
touched
Can
it
it
because
pump
when it came
if
out,
alts turn? Yeah, because scams pump the
yeah,
hardest. You never know. You never know.
everybody had,
There's crazy
were
mining
shilling it
pressure, mining
way
selling
too hard.
pressure on this one. I know the miners were getting like a ton of tokens.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You see that peak after the first dip? That's where everybody was shilling it.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was like all day, every day. They
Yeah.
showed like the complacency shoulder.
I told people I
That
was
was
not
it.
touching it.
I
I was
remember
staying
that.
away,
Yep.
and I'm glad I did.
Um, 0 grand on testing. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with it. I wouldn't mess with it unless it did something from a technical perspective that made sense. Um, I wouldn't mess with it. I'd be very careful with that one. Because keep in mind, a lot of these things are worthless. So just because it goes into like this long sideways accumulation doesn't mean it ever needs to break out. It could just die. That's also an option too, because all of the charts are kind of showing this. Um, I have my doubts. I don't think you're going to have a full wholesale alt season. You're going to realize there's so many more tokens now and less capital. So how do they all pump like that? No. But I think that there will be plenty of pockets of opportunity where some of these alts, especially some of them if you're buying them now in these kind of charts, these ranges, they will break out. Some of them will make highs. Some of them are going to make all-time highs. Some of them are going to get rejected before, but they're still going to give you like 3x gains. It's going to happen. We'll see it. and it just won't be across the board, and you got to be selective on which ones you pick. But that's
Yeah.
part of why I'm back in YouTube, because I think alts are a good opportunity. I think people are going to make a ton of money if you're smart right now, because when you think about it, the sentiment isn't that. The sentiment has become a trading environment where people are going to take profit up to 10 20%, or most people just believe that they'll never pump again. And you know, that's a scarcity. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think we're getting signs. At the same time, I'm willing to be wrong. It's a risk. So
Yep.
if I'm wrong, and I'll identify that I'm wrong before it's too late. You know. But you take some
And
risk there.
besides that, I mean, we both know that the time to buy things in any market is not when everybody's already talking about it. Right now, there's, everybody's taken off, and that's when you want to start looking at stuff.
Yeah. So Zen KS, what price would you recommend to buy Chainlink in USD? I don't know if I'm going to recommend
See if we
anything, but I'll take a look and give you some idea, or at least tell you what I'm thinking. Okay.
let's see if we come up with the same number.
Hmm. I mean, depends on what you want to do. This area here is, you could you could buy some right now, but with a stop, like, so stop below here, like if it goes to, like, you could buy it now at $2 or so, and if it goes below 175, then take the loss. That you could do, or you could wait to see. I don't know. I wouldn't. This is probably a pretty strong level. A dollar 45 or $1.46, something like that. I'm not certain it's
But
gonna
you're in
happen though.
USD?
Hmm.
You're in USD, right?
Yeah, yeah. What do you think?
Okay. I was in BTC. Sorry, let me change the chart.
I think you can
Yeah,
buy it
BTC
now
chart
because,
looks way. Oh
well,
yeah, and USD right now is really nice.
I would buy
In
it now.
BTC, I wouldn't buy it now though.
You wouldn't? I would. I think
In
you could.
BTC, I wouldn't touch it now. In USD, I would.
Your audio is echoing. Wait, what? In USD you would or wouldn't?
Yeah, in USD, I would. I
Yeah,
like the
that's what I'm
USD chart.
saying.
I
In
don't like the
USD,
BTC
from a
chart.
USD perspective, the chart looks pretty good to me. Well, at
Yeah.
least it looks like a good time to take risk. Like, I don't know if it's gonna take out the high here of like over $3, but if you wanted to trade it, like this, you structure your risk as such where it's pretty decent RR. So if you enter
Yeah.
now, you can even, like, you can make your stop below like 184 or something. You know.
Yeah. In BTC, I would be a buyer if it bounced off of 24,872.
Where?
24,872.
24. Oh, in BTC. All right, let me go.
Yeah, in BTC, that's where I would buy it.
BTC also.
But then again, we have
BTC
different
needs
trading
to hold
styles. I'm a
here.
lot more
Yeah.
conservative than you are.
It
Yeah.
does need to. It does need to hold here, or else, I think you think it goes here. But looking at this, like, I'm looking at the daily. This is just like a interesting thing happening here. You don't see that too often, right? Like this, you make a high, goes all the way back, comes back up, and then like three separate pushes with moves back down. It's very interesting price action. This is like, it's an interesting wave. Whichever direction this goes is going to be pretty significant when this resolves. So we've basically been, how long, in this wave between 2.8 and 3.7 for since October. So it's like 2 months. We're spending 2 months up here, bouncing in between. We take out this top, this thing takes off, man. It's gonna be wild. Or like if this low breaks, like 2.7, I don't know if I'd be looking at 2.4. I'd probably
Well,
be
I'm
looking
just gonna
at,
send you
like,
a
it might
chart.
be a serious dump.
Yeah, I'm just gonna send you a chart. If it bounces off, that's why I would look at to buying um resistance becoming support and SR flip there. But it would
Let
have
me
to
see the
bounce off of
chart you
this for me
got.
to buy it.
I'll check it
I
out.
wouldn't I wouldn't just arbitrarily buy it there.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you'll look for some consolidation support there.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, good stuff. Did I answer your question? Good. What about KNC? Didn't we just talk about KNC? Oh, I didn't really look at it too much. I forgot. KNC, KNC. Yeah, so KNC. Mm, it looks like it could pull back a bit here. This was a rejection. Um, so like, if you invert this, like you look at this, wow. It's pretty bullish, right? So basically, we flip the chart upside down. This is a clear trend that's been established. We have the low at 13, starting to come back. From on the daily, you get these two wicks here. Some decent sell volume today, and the day isn't over yet. Um, if the daily ends up like this, I probably wouldn't be a buyer right now. It's making some nice moves,
Yeah.
but
That's a nice looking chart.
you can. Uh, if the daily ends up like this, I think there's a reasonable chance that you get in at least 10% cheaper. If not, most likely you can get in around like 21.50, something like that, like right here. So 21.50 to 22. 22, maybe 21.50 is a little stingy, but 22, 22.20, something like that. If we want to take a shot there,
Hmm.
that makes a little sense. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think so too. And just to reflect also what you said about uh, that price level, guys, if you miss it, you miss it. There's 3,000 other assets to trade. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't go all in at the current pricing level just to watch it get out and then start freaking out and then dump your bags because you've lost 30%.
Right.
It's not worth it.
Right.
Get it as low as
So
you
the other
can.
thing is like, sorry, when you zoom out, like now I have this is the daily. Like, look at this. I mean, so if you're not going to take a chance now, then when are you? You know,
Yeah.
like this is good timing. Like we're talking about trading, but at the same time, you can make longer positions with less risk. Just make sure you have a level where you get out. You know, like if these bottoms that have been established um, go, then you can lose another 90%. Don't think it can't happen. And there
Hmm.
also won't be liquidity. Sometimes you won't even be able to get out.
Yeah.
Um, so if like you start to see these bottoms, because most of these alts look the same way, and like let's say you entered Kyber now, right? Let's just say right now, right? You don't want it to go below 13. So in essence, you're risking if you enter right now and you want to be like a long-term play, you're risking like 50% loss, right, of the position. So, but if you set a target, even here, like, and you're looking to make this a long-term position for 3 to 6 months, right? That's a 3x, right? So you're looking at a 50% loss versus a 3x. Now, are those odds that you're willing to play? Also, you don't go all in. You don't want to risk if you're risking a 50% loss on position, then your position size has to be appropriate. Where if it goes bad on you, um, then you don't get destroyed. You don't want to get destroyed. But this is one of those things where if it gets up here, you can take some profit. If you hit a 3x, you could sell half of it. You've already made money, and then you can let it run. And see what happens. I mean, that's kind of like the way you need to look at these alts.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to get an optimal entry, and this is the thing. Like this is what, since June, July. So how much time do you really have, right? This can go another year like this. Then what do you do? Um, it's really it's up to you how you play it, but that's why sometimes it's better to wait for the move to happen and find something else that's doing something, you know?
Yeah.
So meanwhile, these alts are just kind of like sideways up and down for a year. You could be trading stocks, or doing other markets
Yeah.
that are showing like clear trends. So it's kind of like the way you should be thinking about it.
Yeah. You just don't want to go all in, with everything you've got for obvious reasons. I mean, you become emotionally invested, and that's when you start, making the wrong decisions. Put a small percentage of your portfolio. If it 5x's or 10x's, great, But if you're going to get greedy and put 50 to 60% of your portfolio, you'll be stuck there.
So Zach C. Kyber rumored to add staking change tokenomics, which is what started the pump. So what started the pump was, I'll tell you what started the pump. In this period here, this whole box, right? This is from August to November, or December rather. So you got 4 months of really kind of like sideways action, no volume. This is where a market maker or somebody big is controlling the order book. This player is basically cornering the market on this specific coin. And it's very easy to do. And you won't know if he's done until you know. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the majority of the trades happening is probably between one or two entities that are controlling a big part of the supply. And then, when they're ready to pump it, oh, we can rumor staking change, tokenomics, whatever the case may be. Just know that this market is very manipulated, as is all markets. And this whole narrative, like a reason why something's happening, 99% of the times is bullshit. It's just something that they're just going to use, but at the same time, they have all the supply and they're going to decide, hey, we're going to stop selling too. Meanwhile, we're giving this news and we'll actually start buying some from the people. And the price goes up. It goes up very quickly. That's because this is a plan. It's a strategy. It's what they're doing. And it's what they always do. Notice how in the bear market you had announcements like staking and mainnet and all that, and it really didn't have any effect on price whatsoever. Why do you think now all of a sudden it's happening? It's because they took 2 years of dumping the shit out of this, and then now they're starting to buy it back from you at the bottom, and people are scared to buy it. So when it takes off, you'll be forced to FOMO in. Yeah, Binance owns 20% of KNC. I would say that minimally. They probably own more. It's probably CZ. That's how they pump these low cap, low volume shit coins. It's because they own the supply. Nobody has coins on the wallet on the exchange except for them, like anything significant. So basically, when somebody buys, they'll just dump it on you to get you out. They stop you out. They take your position back. And there's no fees for market makers. If you're trading a high level of volume, you don't even have to pay fees. So they have all the money, all the tokens, and they don't have to pay fees. How do you beat that? You have to not get caught. That's what they're doing. And not all of them are going to pump. Some of them are just dead. But something like all these rumors and stuff that get spread around, and then influencers, these different people talking about it. That's all planned. None of it's an accident. None of it's, everybody knows. On the inside, you know when something's happening. And these people are accumulating and then they get ready to pump it. So you can see it in the chart. That's why the chart looks like it does, because it's the same behavior. Right, Chris? You still there?
Yeah, yeah. I was looking at the TRX.
You
Someone
want to see TRX?
requested that. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the chart right now,
What do you
and
think?
I wouldn't buy this unless it went down to something like 50 sats or whatever, something close to ICO price. There's the chart does not look good right now for to buy this. Not for me, anyways.
Nothing tremendously exciting about this.
No.
Um,
And people are completely immune to Justin Sun's shilling now, so it's the effects are if he comes out with something with a partnership with freaking NASA, it wouldn't change anything. People are just going to dump the shit out of this thing. It's got no utility. It's pretty useless, and no one believes any kind of shill. And quite honestly, the price action on the chart just doesn't look good.
which resolution are you looking at?
I'm looking at 12-hour
12 hour.
since the beginning of it. I'm just looking at the shape of the chart right now.
My 12 hour. Yeah, it says meh. Doesn't look great.
No.
Not great.
Look at the trend finder, how it's just thinned out. I mean, that could flip either side. There's no specific trend right now. Even on the 12-hour, that's
Dude, no,
usually
the 12 hour looks really bad, actually.
yeah.
This is going to go lower. Yeah, this is most likely going to go lower. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see, like 160, 170 sats somewhere. Like, probably if it does a full retrace here, and then there's a decent chance.
Yeah. I would short this though. I mean, on Mex and other places where you
Yeah.
can do that. In Binance now.
Yeah. Yeah, this price action is not great. Not great. A little bit more and it'll take a dump. Yeah. Sell volume starting to pick up. Doesn't look too good short term, at least. Can you check out STPT and let me know what you think? What is that? SPTP.
Standard tokenization protocol. Eesh, that sounds really freaking scammy.
STPT.
Oh, it's in backbreaker right now.
Is it? Inverse backbreaker? You're looking at Bittrex? Standard tokenization protocol? It's the same chart. These are all the same. They all look the same for the most part. It started a short-term uptrend. High, low, high. Well, we still need a higher low. So if this pulls back and it stays over, 125, if it could pull back and like kind of, if it pulls back and it gets support around 160, you could buy it. You want this to stay above like 160. It could dip below, but you want it to get above it, or like 150 minimally. You want to see it kind of continue to prove itself, but Bittrex coin is low volume. I don't know anything about this coin. Let's do an exercise. Standard tokenization protocol. I'm just curious. I haven't been to CoinMarketCap in like a year. But let's see. This is the one. 8 million cap. A third of the supply is available. 400,000 USD. Volume. Okay.
That's it.
It's on Bittrex. I mean, what do you expect? Let's see. Staking status. About us. Standardized tokenization protocol is an open source standard defining how tokenization assets are issued and transferred while complying with all necessary regulations. All right, yeah. Sure.
Oh, wow.
Tokens built on top of the STP standard will use protocol's on-chain validator to verify compliance with any jurisdictional or issuer-specific requirements. Standard tokenization protocol always allows assets to be tokenized in a way that makes them fully compliant across jurisdictions. Okay.
Team. What's the team? Oh yeah, of
Ah,
course.
they don't have. Where are the pictures?
You gotta love those websites with that funky background there
View
that moves all
chat.
over the place. Yeah.
So they got VCs behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is like one of a million. you know, I don't see anything
Yeah.
exciting here about this, unless you
Let's
want to
look
show me
at
on. It just they all look the
Rich
same. They're all garbage.
Michael Chen on LinkedIn.
Skycoin? No. No. I mean, I kept up with. I remember there was like a whole load of drama with synth and all that, which was super interesting. Out of all my interviews with the CEOs, that was by far my most enjoyable interview. Um, that kind of it was fascinating. That was the most fun I've had in an interview on YouTube was synth. That or the Pokemon guy. That was pretty good too, but for different reasons. that interview went away quickly. I was silenced. Ripple's partner MoneyGram. U.S. debt. Let's see what they're talking about here. Ripple's partner MoneyGram now uses Visa Direct to enable instant cross-border payments. Okay. U.S. debt may be in a bubble, but is that good for crypto? Okay. Crypto briefing. These guys are just talking shit. Bitcoin's
Uh,
price dictated by less than 50% of Bitcoin in circulation? You don't say. Bitcoin all set to take off. Huh. This news is shit. Bitcoin spikes a day after President Trump's comments? They're saying this is a Trump pump? What's he talking about? But given what lies ahead, analysts are confident there's room. Negotiators ready to move the shit funds to safe havens like gold. They're still calling Bitcoin a safe haven? What?
God,
Why? Why are they doing that?
it's not a safe haven any more than gold is. I
How
mean,
could you
these
call
things
it a
are.
safe haven?
Uh,
They need to stop that shit.
yeah.
They really need to stop that.
I mean, I understand if you're living in Venezuela and you're using Dash or something like that, and you're using it to keep the value of what you've got. But come on,
I thought they would have learned by now.
yeah.
They do. That's just a narrative. XRP, XRP, XRP. Uh, I tell you what. If you want to play this, wait till this gets taken out. If it does, this wick here, right here. Can you guys see? Somebody was telling me that I moved the cursor too fast, so I'll take my time. Wait to see if this gets taken out, and like if you can get like catch a wick down here, a double bottom around 2,500 sats, you have my green light to play. That's where I would look.
2,500 sats
Yeah, what do you think,
to
Chrissy?
long it, right?
Yeah, 2,500.
Yeah.
Because I think if this 2,900 level gets breached again, it's not going to bounce there.
No.
This is just like a bear flag, and it's going right back to the origin. Um, this is the next logical area, but it could go lower. But I mean, I don't know. I think 2,500. If it goes to 2,500, I'm a buyer. It's a good buy. I mean, if this wick goes, if this level goes, you could even short this. Could.
XRP, ABT.
It doesn't look great. Especially
Um,
like, all right, so if Bitcoin, let's put it this way, if Bitcoin gets above the like the 70, what's it, 7750 or something, it starts to go up higher, fucking
yeah.
short this. That's what I would do. This this,
Um,
this is not gonna hold. It won't.
check out XRP XBT on Kraken because that's where I bought it initially. It's got more price history there.
The Kraken.
Yeah, I bought it at 500 sats eons ago.
So you think the low is eventually gonna break on XRP here?
I don't know, man. It hasn't done anything to make me think otherwise, and there's not much to get excited about. So it's going to be pretty hard to shill it past current levels, personally.
Right. But I think if you're trading with leverage, also like if you get 2,500, like if that happens, you can have a stop like pretty close by, where
Mm.
if it goes below that, you know, it's dead.
Yeah.
It's really dead. You just short it then. Like, hey, I'm
Yep.
wrong, but like if you get a wick down to 25 and that bounces, like that could end up being like a crazy position, you know? Could be good. You just move the stop up. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Doesn't look fantastic. This looks significantly worse than most of the other ones we were looking at, right?
Yeah,
I,
it
I think
does.
so. Looks a bit
Y-
worse. Doesn't
You
look
know,
great.
it's done those two big, completely unnatural bounces. Compared to what other charts do,
Hmm.
and then it did the backbreaker as the second one. Right now, we could look at an extremely long period of consolidation if it doesn't fall through altogether. So
Yeah,
I personally, especially crypto nitro, that was your question, and you sold most of your position.
good for you.
I wouldn't worry about this. I would just go on to something else.
Shitty dick, Danny boy. Damn, it's 2 hours of content. This is Kaz training. Yeah, yeah. This is Kaz. Kaz taught me. He taught me, man. That guy's the goat for sure, man. You want to spend time around people that know what they're doing. If you're just like constantly talking to people that are wrecked all the time, plebs, salty, angry, idiot people that are just amateurs and noobs and toxic, you're not going to be any better. So you definitely want to kind of like find a group or a team of people around you that know what they're doing and they're serious about learning and growing together. Thank you. I've come a long way since I started following you since Shitty Dig. Hey, I gave you guys the top call on Shitty Dig, okay? Anybody that lost money on Dig can't blame me for that,
Nope,
man.
they can only blame themselves for holding it and probably
I
putting
told
themselves
you
in the
what was going to
position I was
happen.
talking about before.
That Ronnie Moaz was the tell, those
Yeah.
DMs were. So basically, what happened was Ronnie, he found an old tweet of mine from like 2 months before when I was like, yeah, Dig's good, and it did like a 3x. And he retweets that, like, look, KJ likes it. Like, that's what he was doing. And I'm like, whoa, 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 like, what are you doing? Like, this was a long time ago. And then he DMs me and he's like, we have an exchange where he got really defensive. And I was like, look, I have some concerns with the project. Be very careful telling people it's going to 5x. He was telling people it's going to 5x in like September. And the whole market had turned extremely bearish. Everything was dying. We're in a full blown double bear market between alts and BTC. And he's telling people this is going to 5x by the end of the month. And I'm like, I don't think that's responsible. And he got really upset. And I was like, yeah, like, guys, you got to get out of this. This is going to end horribly. And
Yeah,
of
which it
course it
did.
did, you know. But it was a good play. I mean, we played that. Like originally, I got in at like 800 sats, sold at 24. Can't beat that. I'll take it. What else? What else? What else? Huh. Bitcoin long. The longs on Mex are mooning. Jeez, they've been mooning. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing. That's not too good. I'm gonna have to close it sometimes, probably. Then again, I remember during the bear market, there was a time where shorts mooned, and everybody was like, "Oh, the shorts mooned," and then the fucking the support gave out. You know, somebody opened a lot of longs, so it could have multiple meanings. Um, I wouldn't rush to close position. But let's keep an eye on BTC because
Mm.
I'm not sure what it's doing here. I'm getting hungry. Yeah, yeah. Wait to see which way this resolves. There's no need to rush into anything right here. Um, you want to see this trend line be established as a support. We got to get above this. So this trend line here, if we start to get above that, and just remember this move, you want to know how this whole downtrend happened, and like you get such a horrible crash and everybody destroyed. It was because of this $3,000 pump in October. A lot of people missed that, right? So this whole way down is paved with the dead bodies of people that are dreaming of getting another $3,000 pump because they missed this one. So they keep trying to catch the knife, thinking, I'm going to get my $3,000 pump. I'm going to go even higher. And the majority of the market had gotten mind fucked by this move to the point where they just kept trying to knife catch and then finally gave up and got destroyed. And then now you're starting to see buyers step in again. So this is not normal price action. You see it, and if you zoom in, because in the dojo we traded this one live. I mean, Chris, we were literally exchanging DMs all morning as it was happening.
Yeah.
And we saw, first off, the price range Vegeta lives is exactly where it went. It consolidated, the low held. Then you saw the move up. Everybody was talking about shorting this at this point, if you remember, 7,500, 7,600. This is where they're shorting. I saw the success of these candles, a couple of these closing, and plus the sentiment, I'm like, yeah, this is going to take off. It's coming. And it just fucking ran it up. Like, this is rare, but keep in mind, as it's happening, you have this series of hourly candles here where you can identify, okay, something's going on. This pops off. After this wick comes up to 86, people again rushing to short it, right? But the follow-up candle, the low held, right? The top of this candle held. And you make another higher candle, and then another one. Then you get these. It's like, okay, maybe I could participate with this too. You know, we're not going down yet. Then you get the blow off up here. And another thing that we traded live, when you get that, where was it? Oh, wrong day. Why won't it go to it? What day was that pump? That was the 25th, right?
Yep.
So why is it
3,000
saying
more
last available bar? What's going on here? This is annoying. Okay. Like, basically, I'm trying to get here, 26, and I want to zoom in to the minute chart. Okay, there we go. There we go. But it doesn't let me do it. I don't know why. Message retracted. Somebody talking shit, I guess. Yeah, what's he salty about? What'd he say? I don't know what he's mad about, but yeah, some of these comments, like, anyway, on this actual 1 hour candle, if you can zoom in and check out the 1 minute, you'll see how the price kind of developed, which would give you a sense that, you know, it wasn't going to stick. That's some homework. Check it out on your own. But yeah, like, people are salty. Like, they're salty, and then, like, I don't get it. I'm sitting here waiting for our weave to take off. I don't know what that is. 52 people watching this, a few but ripe. I don't know what that means. I'll leave. Yeah, I mean, everybody had to go back to work, so not as many people can watch anymore. But, you know.
They'll watch later.
Yeah, hopefully they get some value out of it. People following you after ICX. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure he was telling everybody to flee the market that year, right? You know. Ultimately,
The thing
ICX,
is, they pay attention when you come out with something like you came out with 4 gems just last week, I think,
yeah.
and all 4 of them, hit and paid off. But people have a tendency of forgetting to close their positions and managing their stops themselves. They're expecting you to babysit them the whole way. It's not going to happen. No one's got time for that.
This is around where I exited ICX.
Yeah.
Around here. Not great, but not here. You know, people like complain like that. Yeah, it's worth this. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, it went down. The whole market crashed.
Captain Being Hex,
Hex.
I wouldn't touch that with anything at all.
Well, don't you get it for free? Is it like? It's definitely a scam. It doesn't mean that you can't make money on it though. I don't know enough about it, but it's reminding me of BitConnect.
No, the reason I wouldn't touch it is because everybody's shilling it right now. That means it's already at a top.
But it just started.
Yeah, that means everybody's gotten in already. You know how it is.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Now I need. Let's see. Is this it? What the hex? Hex is a new financial tool. Ethereum via Bitcoin UTXO snapshot December 2nd. Colossal cash grab and privacy compromise. I'm pretty sure it is. Start staking. Hart explains that Hex is the first high-interest blockchain certificate of deposit, letting users stake their tokens in return for interest. Users can enjoy interest payments ranging from 3.6 to 99% of the total supply stake, up to an improbable and enormous payout of 369. If only 1% of the supply is stake, pay out in Hex tokens. So if only 1% is stake, then you get 369. It's worth noting that the monetary value of such a payout depends entirely on the market value of Hex at the time of maturity, right? It's the world's first blockchain CD that attacks the largest market in the banking ecosystem outside of savings accounts. Move over, big banks. Hex fixes this. Yeah, this is
Oh, they're going to displace banks. So in that case, it's a good project.
tactics to scam ideas. Yeah, the market sets the price. No one wants it, and the price will be nothing. He took a light-hearted approach to handling critiques of outright fraud. So there's this trustless thing that people can use or not and pay what the market is worth for it or not. I don't care who you are, 10% of the world will hate you. In crypto, there's tribalism that every coin you buy is a world-changing, amazing thing. Every coin anyone else buys is a scam by default. That's true. I don't want your data. Could set up a Bitcoin node and just listen, or could buy a wallet. Yeah, this is a scam, probably. But I don't know, like I don't know enough about it to really make a call on it. I have an audio echo. That's not good.
Where's this thing trading? I haven't found it on anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's trading that. B-Roots. STPT is literally a VC token ran by the big VCs. Yeah, I saw that. The tokens get released next week, so I think they're pumping their own token. But outside of that, when is RSR going to take off? It's super boring. Okay. So being that this is Shill and Shill, I'm actually going to show you something now. So RSR is a coin. It will take off. I'm telling you it's going to take off. I think it'll happen. I just don't know when. I don't know when. They need another exchange. This, like what we talked about with the market maker, Huobi is notorious for doing that. They'll accumulate the shit out of a coin for, sometimes it takes a year. That's the problem. Like they'll just wash trade it until they have all the supply. Not until they really control the bulk of it do they actually pump it. And once they control the bulk of it, that's when you see the 10x happen. You saw it with UUU. So this is the challenge. I think, and we don't talk fundamentals, but fundamentally, I think this is way stronger than UUU. RSR, they have some better connections, better ties. I don't know, why is the chart bugging out? It's because of the volatility there was crazy. What? Let me see. So,
Yeah, I kind of like the chart.
yeah, so this is UUU. This is from August. Yeah, so like a whole year of this with a couple spikes, low volume, and then explosion. Let's look at Seal. I know Seal did like a 20x, right? Same thing. So, got to figure out where RSR is in this whole thing. RSR could be just starting this part. So like maybe RSR is right here, and then it goes down and curves out. Let me compare. But this took a year, over a year. So, I think it's not a matter of if, it's more of a when.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at this chart, you see that when this 3100 area got breached, it took off, pulled back down a little bit, so you can enter at 56. But then, I mean, it's just a massive pump.
Yeah.
And when you get sideways for a whole year, and with a low volume kind of accumulation, that's how you can get these kind of crazy pumps. And eventually they're going to dump this. But switching back to
Nitro, it's
RSR,
trading at Hotbit and Huobi Global. It's trading a few other places, but not worth it because the volume's not there, and you'll just get
Huobi is
stuck
where
there.
it is, kind of like. And the other thing about RSR is the I believe the USD pairing, which gets more volume from what I remember, doesn't look fantastic. So it could, we got to see. You definitely want to see it over 30. If it gets over 30, like you can buy, if as long as it holds on. Like over 30, I think it could run, and then like over 40, then you're looking at a pretty serious breakout. Um, so you could play 30 to 40 if that happens. Um, you could play now, but just know that if this low goes, then because looking at this, it's been out for May to December, so 7 months. It spent a good amount of time in this,
Mm.
um, but right, it could just be this. So this is the low. Get a fake out, new low, fake out, new low, horrible sideways. Um, I don't know. I'd wait to see if we get to 30 sats, or you could play now and just hope the low holds. If the low doesn't hold, then you're in trouble. That's the way I see it. But I feel pretty strongly that this is one of those ones you can just kind of bag it up, hold on to it for a bit, just make sure the low holds. If the low doesn't hold, then you can get out, wait to see what happens. That's what I would do. CMLAX, literally zero possibility of a loss. How is that a scam? Um, yeah, he's grabbing a ton of F, plus he's controlling it, and also, I'm guessing eventually the token for Hex will need to be traded, right? Like, people
Mm-hmm.
want to buy it, or is the only way to get it is if you stake it? Like, I don't know. It just, it seems like a scam. Since it's showing KJ, have you already checked Darrow? Darrow.
I haven't looked at that one in a long time.
I gotta go to this. Duro. Coin paprika. Oof. Oof. This is pretty wrecked. Um, I don't know. I'm not interested in it. Could pump. It could, I guess. I guess it could. It's probably super low volume. It's just not something I'm like looking to play. It could.
Yes, 700,000 volume USD.
Yeah, I can't even buy it, man. Yeah, not not exciting for me.
No.
I remember there was a lot of shilling around here. Crazy shilling over here. And here. There was a lot of
Any
shilling
one
over here.
exchange. Yeah, any one exchange is about 180 grand US max.
This reminds me
So,
of Nizio.
yeah.
I want to see it. Yeah, Nizio. Remember? Right here.
Yep.
This is where I told them your fucking shitcoin's gonna die, and they attacked me. Right here. It was like in May or April. Yeah. Yeah, the people that talk shit, they were shilling shitcoins like crazy in May. All of them were. When all of them had already did it 3x, and all of a sudden BTC is at 9,400 on a key level, telling people, hey, BTC is about to break out. Get out of shitcoins. Nobody's talking about BTC right now. Why are you not paying attention to BTC? This level goes. This is gonna rip. Nobody paid attention. BTC breaks the level. It goes to fucking 14,000. Altcoins pull back like 70%. Smashed. But people want to come and bitch at me about what happened with ICX 2 years ago. You know, it's annoying. It is annoying. It irritates me. But whatever. It is what it is.
Hey, I didn't make as much on ICX that I did with Lux and Ven, but I made a good amount on
I made
ICX.
money on it too. You
Yep.
know, I was bullish on ICX from the day it listed at 10,000 sats. Shit went
Yep.
to like over 100,000. So it was like did really well.
Yeah, I didn't 10x. Like I think you did it close to 10x on that. I did a 5x, but I was happy with that.
Anyway, we've been going for almost 2 hours. I'm getting hungry. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, Chris. Guys, if
Thanks
you
for having
enjoyed
me.
it, can you give me some love, man? Let me get a like. You know, can I buy a like? Some of these people, they just like to put the thumbs down, and that's okay. But you know, if you enjoyed the comment, subscribe, like. If you want to trade on Dudex, you can use my link, dudex.com/Korean Jew. It's good for people that are like newer. Oh yeah, I see a lot of people are like very upset about like referral link shilling. Like, so first off, I never did that. Even like during the bull market, I wasn't really into any of that. It was just like people like, yeah, how much do they pay you to shill ICX? Like, no, motherfucker, I had like 10 BTC in it and I did a 10x. Like, I don't need to get paid to shill. Like, I'm just gonna fill my bag and then tell you what I got, and then you can buy it or not. Like, that's the way I was looking at it back then. But you know, as far as using referral links, I see some people did make good money. Um, the reality is, it's a trader's market. There's a demand for that. The people that just want to like be moon boys and like look for altcoins, like they're not that many of them left. Most people want to trade with leverage. So, you know, like I don't understand why people get upset if you're like, hey, if you want to trade for leverage, you can use my link and support me. Not asking anything from you. If you don't want to use it, then don't. It's fine. Nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. Um, you know, I remember people used to try to offer me tips. I said, don't. You know, like, I don't want. You know, I want you to make money too. But if you're somebody that's like giving like horrible advice and just like, yeah, Bitcoin's gonna moon and like has no idea what the hell's going on, and you're showing a ref link, and then at the same time telling people to do crazy shit, that I don't agree with. I think that's wrong. But this whole notion that, you know, if people get wrecked on margin, it's your fault because you traded the shield the referral link. I just don't agree. I think you know, people need to be responsible for their own actions. Try to create content that prepares people, equips them to be successful in the market. We do this in the dojo every day, and on Twitter, I try to. if you look at the feed and really kind of look, I'm not one of those guys right now where I'm going to be like giving prices and targets and all this because it's not scarce. It's not good. Like, but you know, in key areas of price, you'll see that I come with a statement or some sort of analysis on how to play it, and it's up to you to really kind of decipher that and make your own decisions. And we want to equip you with the right thought process to make those correct decisions and put you on the right side of the trade. Um, so we talk about things like if we're looking, hey, this is looking kind of weak. We want to see we're expecting rejection pretty soon. It doesn't need to get there, but I'm looking at an accumulation area of 7180, 7200. That's the area that I'm looking for this to go. um, you can long that, but you could also interpret that as, KJ thinks this is going to go to 7180. We're at 7700 now. Maybe I'll take a short here, and then trade that. Like that's like how you need to look at things. It's not like I'm just going to tell everybody what to do. That's how you lose. That's how you end up looking stupid. Um, if you're so confident, you're like, yeah, everybody do this, then it's never going to work out for you. That's why people are just constantly long. I mean, wrong too. But with these show and shows, this is more free form. I'm gonna continue to make my like somewhat daily videos, where I give you more like kind of isolated, thought out content. This when we do show and show, I'm just like literally, I'm just chilling, and whichever way the conversation goes, it'll go. And hopefully, I help you guys out with your questions. And yeah. Thanks for watching, Chris. You any parting words?
No, I mean you've covered it all. That you've said it very eloquently. But thanks for having me there.
Thanks. Make sure to follow Chris on Twitter, man. Dude's a savage.